Anyone who's solely into cars will never understand the fun that you can have on a motorbike.
6 months ago, I showed you my motorbike collection. Included were my GSXR 750 track bike, my Ducati 748 Modern Classic, and my BMW S1000RR that I used to get out of London as quickly as possible. The latter bike is one I'm sure many of you are familiar with already, and with just under 200 horsepower, it's also the fastest bike I've ever owned.
So with all of that in mind, I thought it'd be rude not to take out one of my favourite bikes in my collection. It is the BMW S1000RR Superbike for the road, near 200 horsepower, 200 kilos, 88 pound-foot of torque, and a top speed of Rory, 186 miles an hour. It's very, very fast, and we've got some really nice country roads around here. I've got an Akrapovic exhaust. What do you say? We start up and head out, and then I'll give you a little explanation of what this is like to daily ride. Let's go! I cannot tell you how happy I am to be back on this bike. S1000RR 2014. It is an absolute monster, but it's also very usable. Very fast. Oh, I've got a quick shift on the way up, which is really, really nice and easy to use. It's just a very functional, easy to ride superbike for the road, and it makes an awesome noise. So much torque. I think there's about 88 pound-foot. Really, really fantastic handling. Compared to the first gen, this being the second gen, it's a little bit shorter, little bit sharper, and just better in every single way. Now the S1000RR, when it came out, was an absolute game changer. It completely dominated, and for good reason.
And that's because despite being BMW's first ever attempt at a superbike, it jumped straight to the top of its class, offering more power and better electronics than its Honda Fireblade and friends stablemates.
Oh, the speed at which this thing builds up is phenomenal. Well, let's take it down a nice little country road. Yes! The brakes are really nice and sharp. Throttle response is electrifying. Noise is fantastic. Handling is on point. It's a bike that just goads you to drive a little bit faster, a little bit harder, but all within your limits, all right? Remember that. Always ride within your limits. But before that, a reminder from me as ever that if you want to buy yourself a used car, van or motorbike, run a car vertical report on it first to ensure it's not being crashed, stolen or clocked. To give you guys an example of a clean car vertical report, I have run the numbers on Taylor's E46, soon to be V8 swapped, and as you can see, we got green ticks for odometer, finance and damage. It tells me and you that this car does not have a shady past. And now to give you guys an example of a car vertical report that would make me very wary of this here Audi A3, we can see that we've got green ticks for odometer and finance, but an amber warning for theft and damage. So let's scroll down a little bit, and we can see that we've got lovely pictures of the motor vehicle here. As you can see, no crash damage, so it's obviously been repaired after being crashed. If we scroll down a little bit, we can see that there is a marker for it being stolen in April of 2024, and then we want to see what damage was as well, so keep scrolling down and we can see that in 2022 this was a category N write-off as well. So because of Car Vertical, we know that this car has not only been crashed but also stolen. So if you were to find this on Facebook Marketplace or wherever you like to buy your cars as a clean title vehicle, That's a big fat lie. So do yourselves a favour when buying a used car, van or motorbike, do not get stung, run a car vertical report on it first. What's more, you will get a massive 20% off using the code V2. Back to it. The thing I really like about this bike as well is that you've got different rider modes. You've got, well, let's go through them here while we're doing about 10 miles an hour. You've got race mode, which I'm in now. You've got slick, rain and sport. Let's knock it into sport mode. And then that gives you a little bit of traction control, keeps you on the black stuff. Now in rain mode, obviously you use that when it rains. That limits the power to 163 or 168 horsepower, which obviously means that you're not going to lose that rear wheel quite as easily as you would in race or sport. I absolutely love this bike. Feel so connected to it. And yes, it is a big superbike, but you kind of, I don't know, you feel at one with it. I know that sounds really naff, but I just love the seating position. I love everything about it. But overall, pound for pound, you cannot get a faster, more complete superbike for the road than this. 6,500, 7,000 pound gets you an S1000RR, and for that you get nearly 200 horsepower. There is nothing that comes close in terms of power, speed, reliability as well. These things are super reliable. This thing is absolutely electrifying to ride. Oh, it makes me feel so alive. Anyone who's solely into cars will never understand the fun that you can have on a motorbike. It is just so wicked. Oh yeah. I absolutely love it. What a joyous machine. And the reason, actually, funny story, the reason I'm actually back on a bike, back on my S1000RR, is because I live in West London. My wife is, she's actually 9.5 months pregnant currently. I didn't know that was a thing. Apparently you don't give birth when you're 9 months. You give birth when you're closer to 10 months. I don't know when the whole 9-month thing came in. Anyway, she is 9.5 months pregnant at the moment, and I'm expecting a phone call any time now to say, Alex, it's happening, I need you here. In which case, jump on the bike, and then I can just, you know, go relatively quickly within the law and get home. Because around me in West London, loads and loads of roadworks, loads of traffic lights, temporary ones as well, and it just adds another 15-20 minutes onto my journey. At least this way I can make all the lights because I can get straight to the front of the queue. So I've actually got the gearbox set up for track, which means that when I want to go up the gears, usually you put your foot up to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but with this bike it's down, because that's what you do on a racetrack. It's quicker to go through the gears down instead of having to go up. So that's what I've got on this bike, which is nice. That's what I have on my race bike as well, my track bike, so I don't get confused. Oh, I love it. This thing is just such a riot to ride. But at no point do I feel like, oh, I feel unsafe, or oh, this is sketchy. It's just handling wise and everything, and the brakes and the gearbox, it just feels so dialed in and so pin sharp. I completely trust everything about the bike. And if you're sitting on the fence about, oh, you know, I want to get the CBT, if you've got the money, and if you're a little bit older, you know, don't do it when you're 18, 19, 20. Do it when you're older, when you've got a more sensible head on your shoulders. And if you want to drive like a bellend or ride like a bellend, save it for the track. Do track days. It's an inexpensive way of getting all that adrenaline and all that whatever's thrown through your body out of your body. But don't do it on the road, because if you mess it up, or if anyone messes it up, then it's you who's in trouble. So remember that, and just enjoy the fact that you will save so much time being on a motorbike. Like, I cannot tell you how much time you save. I used to commute into London, and a journey that would take me an hour on the tube, I could do in about 27-28 minutes on a motorbike. And it was fun as well, and I'd get to work and I'd just be stress-free. Fantastic. But now I get to ride around on one of my favourite motorbikes that I own, which is this, the S1000RR. Excuse me, I'm going to take that one, lovely, and then I'm just going to slip through here. Thank you very much. Easy peasy. See, I'm in no one's way. and I can continue on my journey. Yeah! I love this bike, and I do love this little stretch of road. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Wicked, wicked, wicked machine. And it is so satisfying when you're moving around on your bike, on the seat, left to right. Ooh, wow, very nice. Oh, honestly, if you're on the fence about getting yourself a CVT or getting an A2 license, take this video as your inspiration to just get it done. All right, get it done. Do your CVT, do your license. Even if you don't buy a bike, at least you've got it. At least you know you can if you want to. Because take it from me, you'll want to. Oh, this thing is an absolute riot. So there you have it, buy motorbikes.